I record every class, so that way if you miss a week or something, or if you just want to keep going over and over a technique, I record everything. I put it on my private YouTube channel and then send you guys a link and put it in our classroom. So let's start with introductions. I think everybody knows me. I'm not quite sure. Anne, have you taken a class?
Yeah, yes, I took a class with you. I've forgotten the name already, but
I saw your name was familiar, and I was like, I can't remember what class.
yeah, this was my my picture I did.
Yeah, it was probably a mix. Oh, yeah,
It was mixed media. So yeah,
mixed media birds workshop. Cool.
yes, yeah, that was very, very cool.
So everybody knows me. I don't have to do my spiel.
Well, you've been doing a lot of traveling and moving, and
yeah, I moved to St. George, Utah in January. So I'm now living and working here, and I absolutely love it. This morning there were thunderstorms, and you can't believe the light. Just incredible. Like, I took so many pictures. I'll put one in our classroom. It was just incredible. I was waiting for the rainbow to occur. So I really love it. It's an easy place to live. I'm working at the university here, Utah Tech University, and I absolutely love it. It's the most stimulating environment to be in and around. Like, I get invited to things every day. Like, the poet laureate was here on Friday, and I went to a poetry workshop, and there was pizza and politics going on tomorrow, and then I went to a speaker on the brain, and it's just, you get exposed to everything a university has to offer. So absolutely loving it. And some teaching watercolor and intro to art, which is like a general ed class. So that's interesting because I got all kinds of people in that class that don't necessarily care about art, so it's a little bit challenging. I'm ready to strangle one of my students right now. I'm like, just upload your projects. It's not that hard. So anyway, let's hear, so we're going to be together for 10 weeks. We're going to become a little mixed media family. So let's do introductions so you can all get to know each other. Let's start with Rose.
Yeah, well, I'm in North California in Pittsburgh, and not as stimulating as we're not a college place. And but yeah, I took several classes with Colleen. I think I'm gonna see her at the end of this month in Benicia, maybe. Yeah. And I enjoy every class that I take with Colleen. So here I am again.
Awesome. Yeah, I forgot that you signed up for printmaking. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be great. Linda.
Hi. I started taking classes with Colleen in Rossmore, California, and then the pandemic hit. So I continued taking classes. She saved my life and my sanity through the whole 2 years of taking, and enjoyed the classes, exploring things I never thought I would explore, like drawing. And now I think I can draw a little bit. So anyway, I enjoy the classes and I'm happy to be back.
All I can remember is in that drawing class, I made you do the Degas bather, and it was so hard.
Yes.
And there's like core memories from the pandemic, and the bather was one of them. Like, everyone struggled with that.
And then we did the dude. We called him the dude. He had shadows all over his face and everything. It was great.
Oh my gosh, it was funny. Well, welcome back. It's great to see you. And how's your granddaughter? How old is she now?
Oh, she's 2. She's just a
my
joy.
Gosh, I can't believe it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. And hello, Judy. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. I've been kind of out of doing anything creative for most of the last year because I bought this house over a year ago, and I spent a lot of that time remodeling it. So that's where my creative energy went and my time went. So, I finally got to move in a few months ago, and I want to get back to the creative stuff. So, yeah, your classes have been great, Colleen. really helpful. And yeah, and I just signed up a couple days ago. So I don't have all of the supplies.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can go over all the supplies at the end. We'll go over what you need for today because some of them are I'm sure you have questions on. So we'll do that at the end. And I can offer like suggestions or where to get them and if it's in question. So welcome back then, Judy. And Anne, you go ahead. Oh,
Well, I'm retired and I've dabbled with art, pretty much my whole life. I love mixed media. I live in Maryland, near the Chesapeake Bay. It's very flat here. Sometimes I'm inspired by the environment, and sometimes I'm not.
awesome. Well, welcome from the East Coast. This is great. Welcome.
Oh, I found you on the Sonoma County website. And that's where my friend from 6th grade lives.
Oh,
So yeah, that's the connection to California.
oh, I love how people find their way, especially new people. Yeah, I was teaching there last weekend in Sonoma.
Yeah, it's a great place.
And who's your friend? What's her name?
Joanna Kemper.
Joanne. Oh, okay. All right, cool. I think I remember her. Well, welcome. We're excited to have you. Daniela, you're next.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Daniela. I live in Mountain View in the heart of Silicon Valley in California. I love mixed media. I do art whenever I have also time here and there. But I always I have enjoyed Colleen's classes and workshops, and I took quite a few of them in the past. I always come back because it's so much fun, first of all, to be in one of her classes. And second of all, I always love to learn something new.
Awesome.
I say, oh, I know how to do that, but it's always something new that I can learn, and I'm always for that. I'm really grateful for your time and willing to give us from your from your creativity. It sticks to us too a little bit.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That is so sweet. I should
Thank you.
do a video for my website.
Yeah, really.
Oh, thank you so much. That really makes me feel good.
My pleasure.
Anytime I'm feeling bad about myself, I'm going to call you guys up.
Yeah.
Maybe you should talk to my Utah Tech class. Like, Professor G is gonna make us do this, and we have to make a note on. Anyway, Valerie, welcome.
Hi there. Well, I'm another Rossmorian.
Mm.
I've been studying with Colleen about abstract art for the past 3 years. I feel the same way that Daniela does. I think Colleen's a guardian angel sent down to keep our hearts gay and our creative mind active. And now that I'm 80 years old, I need all the input I can get. So I'm very happy to have this class on techniques.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, Valerie. By the way, Valerie has grown so much. She has a solo show at Rossmore right now.
Wow.
Yep. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
It is.
beautiful.
It's all Colleen's fault.
I made her do it. If you have time, go see the show. It's in the art room, so it's beautiful. Okay, Lynn or Stella.
Stella.
All right.
Hi, I'm Stella Liu, and I'm new here. During the pandemic, I found out of the Pacific Art League, so I started searching for what I can learn and do. And then I took one of the class called abstract expression. So I did that class with Noni, and then in that class, I believe it's introduced about the collage work. hey, then I thought, hey, that's something I've never done anything like that. And then I started to get to know there is a mixed media. And I found this class, I thought it will be interesting. It's new to me. It'll be something I want to explore to say what's the possibility is. So I just signed up for the class.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I didn't have you on my list. I had another gal named Lynn that I haven't. I thought you were Lynn, but then I said, no, you're Stella. So welcome. So you may not have received my supply list, but we can go over everything. As long as today you have some tin foil and some kind of glue, I think you'll be good to go for today. I'm going to go over many more things than just that, but that's what you know, we can all do together. So what I'm going to do first, so I'm just so glad that you guys are all here. I just can't say enough and how excited I am. And I have so many things to show you today. What I'm going to do first is share my screen and show you a little slideshow. So the first question you may ask yourself is, what is relief? And relief is something that is raised, okay? And there's a lot of techniques, and a lot of them are old world techniques. And I tried to get a video about relief for you, and it was so boring. I watched the whole thing, and I'm going to tell you something. I wanted to know the history about it. And most of the videos that are out there also on relief are in other languages. So I think it's just really old techniques that stem from coins. Okay, that idea that a coin is raised. And so that's kind of the history of it. And I don't think we do a lot in relief in our country, but there's a lot of steeped history in a lot of artworks, especially like I noticed in Greece and other countries in the Middle East. They're steeped in history. So I'm gonna dabble and show you all different kinds of ways to achieve relief. But I recently found a new exciting one that I'm going to show you. So, but we're going to do, I'm going to call it the poor man's version with our tin foil. But I'm going to first show you a slideshow of some relief art. So let me, and you know, there's a degree of which you may want to add relief into your work. My whole thing with relief is you have to wait for things to dry, and that drives me nuts, but I'm going to try to be very patient. So these are just examples of relief. So other ways to get raised areas in your painting is to put found objects in. So like I'm going to zoom in on this piece here. You can see that there's relief flowers in the actual medium that's on the canvas, but there's also, they put found objects in, which can be really fun. Fabric, buttons, anything that you've found that you want to add is considered relief as well. Sometimes it's called ephemeral objects. There's like a technical word that I can't say, ephemeral objects. It's just found objects. So it's just interesting. And I can show you how to put, if you wanted to put a fake flower in your work, and how to do that. So this is also an example here. Very basic, but beautiful. I love this one. This one's super. I'm going to zoom in after you take a gander at it. There's so much going on in here, but what a great composition and what a compilation of things. The one famous artist, I didn't put his work in, as Jasper Johns. He was very famous for putting wood and other things in his work, canvases and things. But look at, there's like a work blade and all kinds of stuff that I'm not quite sure what some of it is. I see a Ford motor tag, a lot of like string and things, sticks. So very interesting. This one is a bunch of mother of pearl buttons and beads, which is really beautiful.
Wow.
Now, this is a whole other layer of, no pun intended, of painting. You know, you can really, really bring up the surface and make anything that you want out of these materials that I'm going to present to you. So you can do something that's really coming off the page or the canvas. That takes some major skill. I'm not going to try that. It gets very sculptural. I really thought like this idea here of this raised area, I really thought we could play with some design similar to this just today with our relief and see how we do. Or there's other examples too. This one's really beautiful. Zoom in on that.
Oh, I love it.
Really nice. This one's with fabric. Look at that little vest. I'm sure this piece is huge because they put a tie and a vest in here, but I'm not quite sure if these look like pieces of fabric as well, but really beautiful.
Oh, gosh.
The possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah.
Now I have an excuse to go out and collect even more stuff, but I thought this was really cool.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that interesting? I think these are toothpicks, you guys. Pretty sure those are toothpicks, and just using some kind of, we can make our own little square and extrude our relief through it to create all these squares. Very doable. Or it almost looks like they're cork. Not sure. I tried to find out more information on some of these artists. It's just really not available, but I love this one. There's an underpainting, and then they put everything on top, which is a fabulous idea. I love this tree. I'm gonna zoom in because there's, looks like those, you know, those little things that you use for flower arranging, those glass beads.
Yeah.
Some glass beads. A few other things in here, along with the raised squares. That look, I see a screw in there. So not too much found objects, but some. And this one I thought was so creative. It's just jars and like tape rolls. But I thought it was super interesting. We're getting to the point where, is this sculpture or is this relief, right? I think we toe a line, a very fine line. Personally, you know, this is a mixed media class, not a sculpture class. So, but I never want to inhibit you. And I don't know where one turns into relief and where one turns into sculpture, but there's got to be some kind of like limitation when it becomes a sculpture, but have at it, right? There's an abstract expressionist, Louise Nevelson, and she had little wood. They were all, well, actually, I'm just going to show you. So hold on here. I hadn't planned on, that's the wrong one. Hold on here. So it's a very interesting medium here. Hey, my last one didn't show. Hold on here. It takes some planning, right? Here we go. Oh, and I want to show you this too. So this is, I'm going to share my screen here and show you Louise Nevelson. This is just one picture that I saw of one of her very large assemblages. So they're made out of pieces of cut wood in little containers. But she is an abstract expressionist, but did assemblage. So there's different, this is at a different level. Could it be considered relief? Not really, but I because I showed you that last one, I wanted to show you this. And there she is, Louise. I want to meet her. She's gone. But look at how cool she is. So I'm going to now show you this other thing I found for you guys. And I will put all these in our Google Classroom. So these are recreated iconic paintings made out of found objects. And I just could stare at these all day because there's buttons and chain, and look at these Legos in here, all kinds of fun stuff, right?
Oh my God.
There's a whole bunch of them here. Beads, and I don't know what, if this is just raffia, I think, for the hair, raffia. Mona Lisa has shells on her nose. Isn't that incredible? Look at, here's a little measuring spoon and some dice and all kinds of stuff. Those are incredible.
And look at her smile. Is a doll there.
I love that. So the creativity is really endless. And look at all these chains for her hair. These, it's just really interesting.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Aren't those incredible? And I think this Marilyn Monroe, I just saw that movie on her, I think it was Netflix, on her life. It's really sad.
Yeah, I couldn't watch that.
Oh, it's so sad. It was-
Yeah, very one-dimensional, I thought. Like
Yeah.
there's gonna be more there. I don't know.
Yeah. So this is wonderful. I just, it's just very creative. I absolutely love this one. Look at the zebras in his hair. Little zebras toys, and dinosaur and a comb. And I see Casper, the friendly ghost, over here. Really cool. And this one's really neat too, the sunflower. So I don't, and look at, there's those golf things in here, the tees.
Yeah, golf tees.
Yeah. So these artists, some of them gathered things that were the same color, which is unbelievable. But I do believe this background was painted, you know, these found objects were painted, which I can only imagine how hard that was, right?
Wow.
So really interesting. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you, but it wasn't on my slideshow. I'm going to share one more picture. Oh, here. I just didn't go far enough. I stopped when I started talking about Louise. So hopefully your eyes are open and your possibilities, right? So here's another one where I'm going to zoom in on this. They made little, like, I don't know if they're made from cardboard, but a bunch of little portraits put together, little drawings,
Gosh.
right?
Yeah.
And then a raised area around each one. That's really interesting to me, really fun. And this is the woman I found that does a very different technique. She's in Greece, and it's called pyrography. It's using heat to create relief, and I'm going to expose you to that today. It's really interesting using this heat to create relief versus building relief up with a substance. She actually engraves into it. And so I'm going to share that with you next, because we're going to be doing the other relief, which is building it up and not carving. So there's a lot of trains of thought in this process. So I'm going to stop sharing and show you her work. And now these are a series of very short YouTube videos. Give me a second here. I really, 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 really want to try this, and I wish I had prepared a canvas ahead of time, but I didn't find it until this morning. I'm like, there's got to be another way and more formulas or something. So, okay. So hold on here. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. So, and I will include all these in our classroom if you want to do some exploring. But I was pretty intrigued that my recipe today for making a relief medium is almost identical to hers. So this woman's name is Lena Blonsky. She lives in, and this is 129 subscribers. It's absolutely nothing. So I'm lucky I found this. I was digging and digging and digging. So she makes this paste that she covers her artboard with, and I'm going to make a paste with you today, but instead of using zinc powder, I'm going to be using baby powder, but I want you to see. Okay, now she, uh-oh, hold on, what did I just do? Let me go back here. So now what she does is she applies it to wood, okay, and then I'll show you how she carves into it to create the relief. Okay, now I'm going to show you how she carves it, which is really interesting. This is a 2-minute video, and then we'll get to work. Now, I thought it would be a little too much if I asked you to buy a pyrography. I can't even say the word pyrography tool, which I actually own one because when I make my own stencils, I put an X-Acto attachment on it and I use it to cut and it heats up plastic. So it cuts really beautifully, smoothly. So anyway, so let's get started in talking about this business of relief. And what we're going to do is, I think we'll set up our foil. And while that's drying, I will show you how to make some relief paste. And I'll show you other products in the meantime. And if you have your joint compound or your spackle and all of that stuff handy, we're going to use it all. I feel like we can paint on our foil today during class, so I want to get that going and drying first, and then while that's drying, I can show you new things, and then we can hopefully paint a little bit, okay? So that's kind of my train of thought here. Somebody called me on my phone, so my camera flicked around, so I just need a minute to get it set. Sure. Let me just flip it back. There we go. And then I'll highlight my work area so you can see everything that I'm doing. Right. So if you at home have your substrate ready and you want to kind of prep with me, that would be great. I had another thought this morning too about this business, so I just want to grab my glue gun, and it's going to be 1 second, okay? If you have a glue gun, grab it. I'm going to show you another technique. If you don't have a glue gun, you don't really need one, but this is just, I'm always pushing the envelope and pushing teaching to a new level. So when I use a glue gun, I used my Silpat mat because I don't know how to bake at all. Everything I bake is just a big flop. So I transferred using my baking sheet for cookies to my artist studio, and I like it for using a glue gun because it doesn't stick to it. So you can literally peel the glue right off. So that's why I use it. I just had a thought here. Let me just invite, hold on here. I'm going to try to invite that other gal that isn't here yet. Let me see. I just thought maybe she's having trouble getting in. Send it again. Okay. So I'm heating this up. And meanwhile, I'm getting my foil and my matte medium out. And going to, hold on, I'm going to tighten my ball bearing here on my camera. I got a new, I had to duplicate some of my supplies because now they're at the college. Now I have a locker in California and I have a locker at the university. And so sometimes I'm like, where is this? Where is that? Where's my stuff? So it's a good problem to have, I guess. So I'm just gonna wait for this to heat. It's getting hot. Okay, so I'm gonna get foil out. Now, I have just basic Reynolds wrap here. And I'm gonna make sure, and I'll have a little piece of wood here. I got these just on Amazon. They came in different sizes. Ooh, that one's in bad shape. Yeah, maybe I can use that as relief. Built-in relief, a scarred surface. So this is probably, I would say 12 by 12. I think it's birch wood. I like when I'm doing relief to use a hard surface. If you're doing relief on paper and it's all floppy, it can be very difficult. Canvas you can use canvas as well, but it's not as durable as wood. And so I'm going to go ahead and share a piece that's larger than this because I want to play with some crinkles. I'm thinking about relief, and I'll probably use more than one piece. I'm going to see if my glue is ready. Yeah.
Colleen, you said matte medium. I had sent you a list, and I have things called matte gel, etc.
Yeah, they'll all work. They're all
Okay.
polymers. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just so just so you guys know, the mediums that Linda's talking about, it's just about viscosity. So the gel medium is going to be awesome if you want to put a found object in because it doesn't move around. Either one is fine, just one is thicker than the other. So to use gel to put found objects in is going to be awesome. And I'll show you that as we move along in our process. For right now, matte medium is fine for tinfoil because it's very thin and malleable. So it's pretty interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and make just some random marks. I'm thinking about a vertical linear marks here with my hot glue right on my wood.
Is there something we could use other than the glue to do this?
Yeah, and this is just a last minute pivot. You don't have to do this, but you could do like Elmer's glue in a couple layers if you wanted to. I'm just going to do just these 4 lines. And I'm going to actually put that aside. So I'm just going to, those will dry in seconds really, but it creates a relief, a raised area. So if you don't have wood and you like this hot glue, if you like how this looks, you can totally do this at another time, right? So I'm going to I'm not even going to attach this yet. I'm just going to put the foil on top. So you could literally attach anything to this wood and I would get a raised area already. You see that? See those lines in there? Now, I'm going for today just an abstract kind of look, but I always want to show you guys what's possible. So I'm actually going to be attaching my foil. It's sticking. I'm going to be attaching my foil in a very abstract way with lots of little folds and wrinkles and raised areas that are unique to me and how I handle it. So I want you to get a brush in your medium, whether it's gel or matte medium. And I just got to grab a brush. And you're going to attach the foil in, like I said, a very abstract way, the way that the creases please you. Okay. Just putting my apron on. Was anybody else like totally excited about that wood and carving into the plaster? The pieces are just beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of medium on here. Not lying a bunch. And I'm going to spread this around with my brush. I didn't treat my wood ahead of time with gesso, so it's going to be a little more absorbent, and that's okay. Got lots of matte medium here, lots of it. And those that know my work, I don't do a lot of relief in my work, although it does interest me. Now I'm going to start playing with this foil and putting it down, kind of playing with it a little bit. And I can, like I said, use more than one piece. And I'm thinking about kind of texture I want, like a lot of texture maybe at the bottom. I really do like these lines. People have been painting on tin foil for years and years and years. It's a big relief surface. Artists really like what it does. So I'm going to do a little bit of a smooth area and a very textured area. And I'm actually going to tear some of this just to get some more crinkles. And the matte medium is coming on top, and that's totally fine. I'm going to take these pieces off the edge and attach them up here. Like I said, I want a smooth area and then textured area. So think about, just like when we're painting, that little bit of difference when you're creating. And some up here. I like this. So, and it's interesting, if you want a smooth area, you just smooth it out with your fingers. I'm actually kind of smoothing it out in a circle, which really excites me. So I'm gonna actually accentuate that circle by creating a relief area around it. So I naturally got a little area here. So now I want to create texture around it. I've always got to get my circles in. You guys know me, my circles. I'm going to create, kind of top that area off. Okay, so you can create little shapes. You could probably roll a little piece if you wanted a line like mine that I got with the glue. You probably just, I'm going to roll a little piece here and see what I got here. I'm going to create another. I might, if that's really thick, I might need to get my gel medium out. I don't know if it'll attach. Should be okay. So I'm kind of designing with my foil now, which is very satisfying, I have to add. Let's make sure, putting a lot of medium, make sure it stays. I'm gonna make a little square with this piece here. Actually, I'll do another rectangle here. I'm gonna put this one over here. I'm using my fingers to put this down. You can use a brush. I'm a very tactile person. I like to use my fingers.
Oh, I just got a nice smooth area using a brayer.
Oh, good idea. Using a brayer, great. So we are building up surfaces. This is surface design here. I'm gonna go and just get up for a second and get my thicker medium, because this is like not staying put. So I'm just gonna get my thicker medium. Matte medium was good for all this area, but now that I'm building up a surface here, it's not so great for these really thick pieces. So this one seems to be moving actually. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab it. I'll raise my arm here so you can see the whole shebang. So I have a couple of things here. I'm going to try my heavy gel matte to put this down. I'm going to use, so exactly what it is. It's matte medium, it's matte, but it's gel. So they just made it thicker. It just, you know, it's not going to come out. So this one, whatever polymer they add is very, you can hear it, it's very liquid. So they're the same thing. I also have this triple thick gloss glaze. I don't want glossy, but triple thick kind of made me think that it's thick. I'm going to put this on with a palette knife, and then I'm going to sit back and watch it dry, which is my least favorite thing to do, but at least we have other things to do while we're waiting. I'm going to put a little bit in here. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Right tool for the right job. You guys are probably sick of me saying that, but it's true. It depends on what you're doing. So I'm layering foil now, and it wasn't hanging out well with my matte medium. So now I'm putting this on, and it's awesome. So building up surfaces. I have an artist friend. She's amazing. Her name's Diane Williams. She puts so many layers of gesso on her canvases before she paints to build up a beautiful surface. She's very much about, she says she spends more time preparing her surfaces and finishing them than she does painting them. So it all matters. Everything you do matters. And I am so thankful that I do have gel medium here at this location. I got a little crazy with my, like I thought I had Elmer's glue here and I don't. I don't know where it is. Okay. I'm going to put some gel on these guys. I'm going to put it underneath just to reinforce. And you know what I was just thinking of? I know we're just doing foil. No, I'll do it on the next one. I might go in my house and grab some toothpicks because I really like that idea. So I'm gonna stop here. I've got really good, nice round area here. I've got some highly textured areas, some flat areas. I love this textured area right here. So I'm gonna stop, which is really hard for me. And while we're doing the other things, you guys can still fuss with yours. I'm gonna set this aside, cleaning off this because it will dry on here. So I like to, these are a few things that I will clean on my palette knives. I had an artist friend over painting on Friday, and she's like, don't you clean this? Don't you clean your stencils? I'm like, nope. She was disappointed. I'm like, nope, I don't clean anything. All right. Very excited to paint on this. I'll be honest with you, I have not done this before. Before I started playing around with this idea in class. So I'm new at this as well, but I've done a lot of discovery. So this piece is backing up here, so I'm going to put some more glue on there. There we go. And I'm going to just kind of clean up my edges a little and tear this. That's what's so nice about working with foil too, is that it's so easy to work with. Oh gosh, talk about easy. I'm just going to fold that edge over. Has anybody out there in Zoom land ever painted with foil before?
Never.
Huh?
Nope.
No? Good.
Yes,
Yes. Who's saying yes?
yes.
Anne.
No.
And what did you think?
I thought it was great. We used gesso to create texture, pattern, and put the foil kind of under the gesso and over top of the gesso. And
Cool.
yeah, it works really great at, like, if you're doing something perhaps a little more realistic, to highlight, or it's fun. It's
Yeah, it's definitely
I
different.
thought it was, very good. And it seems to stay, because this piece I did probably 10 years old, and it hasn't tried to fall off or anything.
Oh, good. Whew. Good. I'm still cleaning up my edges here. I really like this idea of this hot glue underneath. That was super easy and fun. Can you imagine all the cool. I just thought of it this morning. I dreamt all night long. There was a big storm and it was lightning and thunder all night. So I didn't sleep good. So I was thinking of ideas. Sweet.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It's good for you guys, bad for me. I don't actually feel tired though. Not yet anyway. Yeah, I think I've been up since 3:30. It was just massive, when like the thunder just shakes your house and
Oh dear.
cats were freaking out.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was fun though. I love thunderstorms. Oh my gosh. We have the best storms here. It's incredible. It's really incredible, the storms. There's a monsoon season that I didn't really know about. And we are out of monsoon season supposedly, but you could have fooled me. It feels like every day there's some kind of monsoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. It's fun.
Well, we're still having the remnants from Ian, the hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been cloudy and rainy, but not real rainy, kind of a misty rain.
Wow. Here, I'll show you guys. I'll take my laptop outside so you can see my view really quick. I know some of you have seen it, but some of you haven't. So I'm going to show you. It cleared up, so there's no storm, but I'm going to take it outside really quick so you can see. I have a view from my studio, but I need to trim this tree back that's kind of blocking my view a little bit. I'm in my little terrarium. See this cool courtyard I have? It has a roof with a hole in it.
I'm still back at your painting.
Oh, sorry. This is my, I call this the terrarium. This is the
Is that neat?
This is my backyard. My front yard is like a backyard, and this is, I don't spend a ton of time back here. Just because, wait till you see the view, you'll spend all your time in the front yard, which is really the backyard.
It's very cool. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Wow.
So there was so Zion is over here. Let me see if I can, yeah, the camera's not registering the depth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you can't really see it.
it's catching up the light and we cannot see.
Yeah, see, oh, now when I go back, you
No.
can see that.
No.
So it's very, very cool.
Well, it's a lot of work to move.
Oh, yeah. And I moved my studio 3 times in the last year. So I'm so happy to be in my studio. It's so nice in here because the air conditioner that I have is called a split. And it's just the perfect temperature. I don't know why it's called a split, but okay. Now, get back over here. All right, I'm going to set this aside. I feel like it's drying very quickly, which is nice. So we'll set this aside and we're going to go over different relief. Okay, so this recipe I'm going to send to you guys. Let me just get this. I don't know, is anyone out there going to make this relief recipe with me right now? With the
I think I am.
Okay, great.
Is it just the baby powder and the Elmer's glue?
Yeah, I'm going to use matte medium because I don't have glue. The Elmer's glue, I thought I had a jug of it, but I don't. It's in my other locker, so I'm just going to use matte medium.
But instead of that, you can use modeling paste also, no? Or spackle.
Yeah, we're going to go over that too.
Okay.
So
Be careful with the baby powder. Don't breathe it.
oh, don't breathe it.
Yeah, it's hazardous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay, I'm putting that aside.
Yeah.
And so this recipe is a 1/4 cup of, well, I brought too big of a, so I have this very small thing of baby powder. And just so you know, that woman whose work I showed you, she used zinc powder.
Mm.
And I looked on the internet, and it's a
Not a good.
real life thing. The zinc powder is, I guess it's a supplement, like a food supplement. Yeah. So I don't know anything about the zinc powder right now, and how is it different than baby powder? I don't really know. This is hard to, oh, hold on.
Yeah, I'm having, Colleen, I'm having the same problem. It just shakes.
You probably know it's toxic and they don't want you to open it.
And yet you're supposed to sprinkle it on babies.
I know. How did this all come about? The baby powder being toxic? I'm kind of new on this.
I forgot, but you know Susan Scott.
Yeah.
She is very, she's very aware of all these things. And I forgot, but she was like, don't, yeah. And then I read something online about it. So that is not a good idea.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think they use them on babies anymore.
Anymore, yeah.
Like a lot of people use talcum powder, and
Yeah.
it can cause issues with human or female organs.
Yeah, yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Gosh.
can't like cancer.
Yeah, in the, because they used to always put it in their, like my grandmother used to put it, she used to wear a girdle and she put it on her skin so the girdle would go on easier.
Okay. There's a little, oh, and now it's airborne. Great.
Get your mask.
I know.
So basically you can use modeling paste or spackle.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just doing this and you'll see why. So we can extrude it through, like have it more liquid, and we can extrude it through like a squeeze bottle, and you can draw with it. You can't do that with the modeling paste. So that's where I'm doing
Okay.
more like a line type of a liner. So
Is it 1/4 cup of powder and 1/4 cup of water, or what?
well, this one, we're doing a tablespoon of glue. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Tablespoon of glue. And then a tablespoon of white paint. So I'm using acrylic white paint. My husband, hopefully he won't need these measuring tools to be like, oh, now what is she's now stealing my stuff. Yeah, so I am going to go over the spackle and the modeling paste as well, and a few other products that create relief. This is just one of them. So we're going to add water a little bit at a time. Okay, so I'm going to put some water in a measuring cup here. And we're just going to add it a little bit at a time. Looks like probably like a tablespoon. I'm going ahead and mixing, and boy, can I smell that. I'm just mixing with this palette knife. So this is DIY relief paste. However, like Rosa said, there's other ways, and we're going to use, I asked you guys to get joint compound and a few other things. We're going to go over that. But the reason why I like this one is because it's very liquid, and I can put it in my squeeze bottle and get a nice line and draw with it. Whereas the others are more like, we can extrude through it, and I'll show you.
Yeah.
So this looks like a nice, I actually want it a little bit thicker, so I'm going to put some more powder in. So it's just getting it the right consistency.
Colleen, on your materials list, you had listed alum, A-L-U-M. How do you use that?
Oh, the alum is when we do the water with the marbling.
Oh, I see.
We spray it on paper. So it absorbs the paint.
Oh.
Yeah. So the paint can sit on top of a surface. So the alum helps it adhere to the surface. Okay, I'm gonna do a little experiment and put this on something. I don't want it to spread, so that, I'm just gonna put a little bit down. Okay, it's not spreading, that's nice. I'm gonna just put a little bit more powder in, just a tiny bit. So I'm very interested in the zinc powder, although I went online this morning, it was super expensive. So there's gotta be some zinc powder that you can use with, or maybe even calcium carbonate. Maybe we can use that, or has anyone ever worked with marble dust?
No.
No.
So I'm going to put this in, I have this sriracha container. It's a little bit big, but I'm gonna put this in there. So you can use Elmer's glue, which is totally cheap. Cheaper than using matte medium, for sure. I'm making a mess, which is that I'm in my studio. I should probably use a baby funnel. So if you're making a big batch of this. And it would be nice, I think, to have a whisk. I think it would get a little smoother. So little things like if you like this. Like I said, the only thing that's hard for me is you have to wait for it to dry, but that's okay. All right. Good enough for now. I'm going to put some water in my bowl so it doesn't dry on me. Very bad. All right, so I'm going to show you what really interests me is using this to create some raised designs that are unique to my own. You know, I can use stencils and other things, but I'm very interested in making it my own. So I'm going to put the lid on here. And, you know, there are different squeeze bottle sizes. There's some that are finer. This one is what I had, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to zoom way in now. So these techniques, you know, you'll have to figure out what works for you and what you like. I would try them all. I'll send the recipe or I'll put it in the classroom, but I'm going to go ahead and do some drawing with this. And hopefully it works really good. Ooh, look at that. Wonderful. So if I don't want it to spread at all, I could do just a little bit more powder, but I really like this consistency here. And I do have, like I said, that wood burning tool. So I'm going to go ahead and prep. And at the beginning of class next week, I will do the wood burning technique if anyone else wants to try that. I think the tool that I bought was like $16. It wasn't a ton of money. So this is very cool. You know, and in a perfect world, I probably should have done an underpainting and then done this on top, but you know, all I'm doing is just showing you what's possible. That's my job. You know, you saw that painted tree with things over it. So let's make some little squares now. I've got circles here. Make some squares.
If you were to prepare your board, what would you put on it?
I would probably do a painting on it and then do this on top. You know, some kind of underpainting of some sort, probably abstract. Maybe even collage would be beautiful underneath, right? So a collage, so any kind of great underpainting, or, you know, if, let's just say I'm interested in black and white, I could just paint it black, right? So now I'm going to do some squigglies, and then I'm going to set this aside. And I would imagine it's going to take about a couple hours to dry, just from knowing how thick this is. And there's water present, so the water has to evaporate. But I can tell you right now, this is easy and it looks really good. I had a class in, before, it ended in May, so that last session I had before my daughter graduated and all that jazz. I had a class called Mishmash, and we studied the work of different artists. And one of the artists, drawing a blank on her name, she's a Latina artist, and she used icing to create her artwork.
Oh, my.
And so it wasn't archival, and then she ended up using just paint that was the right viscosity, and she actually used an icing basting bag to do all her artwork.
Oh,
And so this could be something, you know, if I were to use this technique, I would use it probably on a final layer, right? It's not like you're going to be collaging through this. Also, the nice thing about having it in this little thing is I can just squeeze this tight and it's airtight. So I can keep this around and have it as a tool. So that's my DIY demo. I still have lots of things to show you. Okay. So I'm going to set that one aside. Any questions on the baby powder?
How thick? I missed how thick. I was in the kitchen trying to stir this. How thick did you have it when you put it, before you put it in the bottle?
Consistency of, I would say toothpaste.
Oh, that thick. Okay.
A little bit more watery, but see, I did an experiment of the thickness to make sure it didn't spread, and I put a little line down and it didn't spread. So you don't want it to spread. So put a little down. If it spreads, it's not ready.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I'm going to go over other products and other techniques. Let's set this aside. Let me know if I'm going too fast, if you guys are doing this at home. Put that over here. I gotta grab my trowel for my next demonstration. I will be right back. It's right over here somewhere. I was using it the other day. Oh, and I got I love going to thrift stores. I'll show you my new trowel I got at a thrift store, but I have a smaller one I want to use.
Colleen, would you be able to put different colors in here? Like you said to put white. Could you put other colors in there?
Yes, you can put any color you want in there. I put the white just because I want to paint over it when it's dry. And I'll be doing this at the beginning of class next week. So yes, you can color it any color you want. Great question. All right. Now I'm going to show you 4 other things here. Now I told you guys to have joint compound However, mine did not come, but I have spackle, so I think it's pretty similar. And I have spackle, and I have, this is a square notch. I don't know, it has really cool designs and different sizes. I think this thing's pretty fantastic. I got it on Amazon and it was like $1 or something.
We use that in ceramics.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool. And then I was recently in a thrift store in Kanab, Utah, when I was there, and I got this little guy, which when you work large, this can be pretty amazing to scrape into. And I love how it's missing a tooth. And that's why it was at the thrift store. But they call this a trowel. You can make smooth areas. And so that's something if you're working big. For demo purposes, I'm not going to be working big. But if I were to, so this time I'm going to show you with the spackle. Mine, this is not the joint compound, should be more like a molding paste, which I'm also going to show you. But this is spackle, and I use this to repair a wood wood substrate that I was going to paint on. It had this like gouge in it. This stuff is great. It sands well, so like if you don't like something. So mine is pink, which is so exciting.
Wow.
And it's pink because when it dries, it turns white, which I think is really cool. So this is just spackle, and so you can build up a surface with relief using this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that knife, which I put over here. I'm going to use a palette knife at first, and I'm going to use different tools to show you. There's a lot of great relief art out there. And it's just, there's a lot you can add to mediums in general, and things you can buy like glass bead gel and tar gel. And it's really endless. I don't want to go over those kind of mediums just because you can put anything in anything and make your own. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put this down, and with force you can get really flat. Now this already has relief in it. This wood board, it has a boo-boo. So I can create whatever surface I want with this stuff, and it will dry. It will dry white and just how you see it. It's super thick. It's way thicker than molding paste, which I'll show you next. I really like how it dried when I was using it. I'm going to create, I'm going to use that little trowel here in a second. So I'm going to create like a flatter area. And then I'm going to scrape through it. Spackle is very interesting. I don't know how joint compound is different, but I know that it's white. A lot of the research I did was you can use plaster of Paris, you can use spackle, joint compound, bless you. It's all about consistency, and I do like that this does dry white. I wonder what would happen if I put paint in it. It might dry. See what happens. So I've got this flat area here. I'm going to use my little trowel. I don't know if it's a trowel. The trowels are to make it flat, but I'm going to create some relief area here with these teeth. And I'm going to go ahead and drag right through here. right? So that's interesting. I need to clean this. Oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll try putting that on. These little, it's interesting. So it depends on the surface. Now, painting on these surfaces is very tricky. I'm just going to tell you. And you have to think about sponges and all kinds of stuff. So I'm cleaning this pretty good because I don't want it to dry and ruin my lovely teeth. Clean this off as well. So I'm going to finish building up this surface and let that dry. So far, I'm really happy with my DIY little raised areas. That's very fun. And I'm going to try the mini side and see what kind of, I'm going to go the opposite direction. So it's all about the surface and the texture, really. This whole business of relief. Whether you do a drawing with it or you're just adding things. And I'm also, when I show you the molding paste and all that, I'm going to show you how to put a found object in here, which I think I'm going to go in the house and grab some toothpicks here in a minute. But I want to see what this very fine one looks like. I like this little one. I would imagine it's going to fill up pretty quickly. Ooh, it's like dragging some of it away. Huh. That is adorable. I really like that. I'll try that again. It doesn't go very far before it kind of lifts up too much. So I'm pressing pretty hard.
Could it be too dry?
No, I just think it gets, it's, you know, it's so fine that I could probably lift up and keep repositioning it because it just removes. I think it's just too thick.
Also, that's nice shapes, though. Interesting shapes.
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, Rosa. And then some of this can lay back down.
But what I'm dying to ask is, so you can paint with acrylic in top of the foil, of the aluminum
Yeah,
foil?
I'm going to do that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I'm going to try to clean. Oh, you know, a toothbrush would be great to clean this, all this out of here. Just can't wait till I have my sink. That's the last missing piece of my studio is the sink.
I am asking for a sink to outside, but
Do you have a sink, Rosa?
no, I don't. I do have faucet, but no sink. And I keep saying, "Oh, how about a sink?" And I keep.
Or
But oh well,
spoiled?
I'm exercising. It's kind of low faucet. You say the. Anyway.
There's a little. I have an outdoor kitchen in that courtyard, and there's a sink out there, but it's really small. So I'll be excited when I can. I gotta see if I have a toothbrush here just to clean that. Actually, there's some sponges here. No, I'll do it later. All right, so I've got some really unique things here. I want to put some found objects in here, so I'm going to go grab some toothpicks. I will be right back. I just really liked how that looked. So I went and got some toothpicks. And I'm going to go ahead and finish creating this surface here. I'm going to leave some flat too. And what I've only used this spackle once, but it really dried pretty quickly. It's already starting to turn white. You can see it, right?
Mhm.
Might even put it out in the sun while we're doing our other painting. I'm making this pretty smooth and thin so my toothpicks will be raised because this is all about relief. And while I was outside, I saw all the rocks and I got a red rock out of my little entryway here. I'm going to put a red rock in here. And so I want this to be really thick. And I'm going to put it in there, nestle it right in there. So found objects, right? I don't know if it will work with the plaster, so I'm going to put one in the next one when I do the molding paste. It should stay, but this is, plaster is a little bit different. It's not a polymer. So the jury's out on that one. That's an experiment.
Couldn't you actually put hot glue gun to, if it doesn't adhere underneath it, because there'll be a little indentation?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I could hot glue it, but hot glue is not archival.
Okay.
You know, so I don't like to use it as, you know, it's not going to stay over time. So I'm going to try these also in the molding paste when I get to it. I'm just interested in creating relief here. So in trying different ways and different mediums, because there's going to be a right tool for the right job, right? So we'll see which one we like when all this is said and done. Those toothpicks are really cool though, I'll tell you. I kind of like that. I'm going to put another flat area here. So is anyone out there using joint compound?
I don't think I got that. I have molding paste.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm going to show you.
Yeah, I used to use it a few times back in the day. Instead of molding paste, yeah, I wanted to be cheap.
Yeah. Now, do you know how joint compound is different than spackle? Is it the material?
Yes, it's made of gypsum and spackle is made of silica.
Yeah, yeah.
Gypsum.
Yeah, because they're made for different purposes, different parts of the house, the walls, you know, so they have to adhere to different materials. So,
Well,
and some of them are very heavy, some of them are lighter. Like there are those, I think, joint compounds that are very, very light. You barely think you have something in the bucket.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not, and this is why I love to teach, because I get to get out of my comfort zone when I do things. I have used texture before in pieces, but this is a little bit different than texture. You know, we're creating texture, but we're also creating raised areas. So I'm pressing that in and I'm going to set, I feel like this one is my test here to see how I like this. And I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to add a little bit, a few very small, flatter areas here.
it's already beautiful, you know, like compositional and. But are you sure about the adhesive properties of the joint compound?
I'm not.
I mean, it might not. I have no idea because I didn't use this one. I used I think it's called spackle or something.
Yeah, this is spackle. This is dry decks, dry times,
Sparkling, yeah.
yeah. So,
That's to fill cracks and stuff.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. This is the experiment, and I'm going to do one in the molding paste too, just to see. So I'm going to put that aside to dry.
Oh, molding paste, I think it's okay as long as you don't put, too big objects, too heavy objects in it. I completely trust the molding paste. It has adhesive properties. It will hold.
Yeah, because it's a polymer. It's a
Exactly. Yeah.
So these, I'm not sure, and that's why I'm gonna let that sit. And now I'm gonna show you the molding paste as a relief. So molding paste is a polymer, semi-opaque acrylic texture medium. So there's different levels of molding paste. There's thick and thin. Another piece of wood here.
And they're light and heavy.
Yeah, so this one is,
They're
I think,
flexible and not flexible.
yeah, so there's a lot to this molding paste stuff. So it's very thick. And I'm going to do some similar things with the molding paste. It's a little bit smoother than working with the spackle. I'm going to do some of the same things just to see how they behave when dry. It's definitely a polymer. So polymer just means plastic. So it's going to dry more adhesive, I think, than the plaster, but we'll see how that rock holds up. I'm gonna create a flat surface here. And then I'm going to introduce another product that I've seen some really cool stuff with in a second here for relief and found objects.
Colleen,
Yeah.
if you put this layer on and then you decide to and let it dry and you decide to put more texture, can you put another wet layer over the dry layer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can build up layers. So this one is, the molding paste is easier to use. It's just smoother. I'm excited for my joint compound to come, just to compare that to the plaster for the spackle. This looks pretty good. I'm going to put some toothpicks in here. And I'm definitely going to go and grab a rock as well. Does anybody out there collect found objects at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Rosa, what kind of?
But it's mostly it's a stuff to do necklaces and jewelry. So I don't know how to. I mean, if I put it in here now, I will paint in top though. No, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, or you can paint around it too.
Or around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a little.
I collected some pine needles and acorns and leaves.
Oh, cool. Yeah, mini pine cones would be cute. So I'm just embedding this, see how it goes. Right now I'm gonna go out and grab another rock. I'm gonna see if there's something here on my, oh yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this cool plastic thing. It's like, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna embed this in here and see how it goes because it's really cool looking. I'm gonna put it over here. So I'm getting some more molding paste. And I'm going to put this in. I saved this really cool jewelry piece where it, like the necklace broke, and I want to put that in something. Right, so I'm really pressing that down, and smoothing out a little around it. I'll zoom in on that. Just smoothing some of that around there. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool. I don't want a real super raised area, so I'm just kind of tapering it with my knife. This little palette knife, I got it at the dollar store, but I love it. It's rounded. Well, things at the dollar store are no longer $1. You guys know that, right?
Yes.
I hadn't been for a long time. So you can really do whatever you want, whatever your mind can dream up, you can do this surface. And I'm also going to show you using a stencil how you can extrude and also stamping. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to move. So I am like carving through things and putting found objects in. I'm going to smooth this out and I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. And then I'm going to do some stenciling. So I just happen to have over here, guess what? One of my bones I love. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp in here. So I've got that really organic look there. Nice circle. Very nice. So that was a stamp. So you can stamp anything in there in the paste. And I'm going to grab a stencil. And I really like one of the things that I love are placemats, and then I just cut them up. Like this was some kind of skull or something. And I cut it up because I like the designs in it. So I'm actually going to smooth this. I'm going to take some of this away and do a little stenciling over here. So, you know, you can get creative. I have had students use, you know, their coasters from their coffee. So let's see. I really like this little area here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some paste right through that. Pushing it down. My knife. And there I've got a really beautiful pattern that I just pushed right through my stencil.
That's very nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. So that's just a placemat that I cut up. And I liked it because individually of its skull, that it was like a Halloween. It feels very butterfly-ish to me. So a lot of creative things. You can do so much. Now that is molding paste. Now, one other thing I want to introduce. Oh, and I wanted to put a rock in here to see if it will hold, but I think this is a good test here. I also want to see how heavy it can handle. I'm gonna go get a rock. I'm gonna go ahead and put a rock here. I need to build the surface up a little bit thicker. Put a rock in. So these are just experiments. So let's see. I've got my rock. And I'm going to clean up this stencil because I don't want it to plug up. When I'm creating, I feel like raised areas kind of limit me. So I think it's really good to think about it as maybe on a different layer, like creating a layer and then adding the relief on top, because it's very hard. Now it limits you, like now you can't collage. Maybe you could do tissue, but like it because of these the raised area, you're kind of limited now to paint only. So in a mixed media situation, what I would do is I would be thinking about my layers, and I would be creating my underpainting, maybe a beautiful collage and paint and paper and spray paint and all that lovely stuff, and then putting some raised areas on top to accentuate what I want. So it takes some planning. And it's fun to experiment and see which
Everything's
you like, right?
Oh,
And
fine.
we can wait, and I want to hear from you guys. Do you want to paint these together in class next week?
Yeah, needs to,
Yeah. Okay.
needs to dry.
Yeah. So these are putting to dry, and then I want to talk to you about this other product that I have not used yet. Here's a cute little. This is called Dimensional Magic. Adds dimension. Okay. Let dry 3 hours. So I haven't used this yet, but I've seen pictures where you can put it down and then put things in, like just like I did, embed something. But I think that's its job, is to hold something dimensional. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. So Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. So I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to cut up part of this, and I'm going to apply it with the Dimensional Magic and see how it works. This will be my found object. I once had a earring that was lost. I lost the other one, and it's really beautiful to put jewelry in pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Like I said, I've never used this before, but I think it dries pretty clear. It's Mod Podge. It adds dimension. So to me, I think it's kind of like a probably like a tar gel or something. I'm going to go ahead and I'm doing two things. I'm going to adhere something, and then I'm going to take another piece and draw with it and let that dry. So I'm going to let that dry. I just put some of this Dimensional Magic down because I have never used it. I don't know what's going to happen. And we'll let that dry.
I thought I never used it. Actually, this is the first time I heard of it, but I saw, I don't know, on YouTube or somewhere that you, as you did before, you draw with it shapes, and then you let the shapes dry like this. So they are drying in 3D.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do next, because that's what I think it's for. But I wanted to also see how things found objects go. So I'm gonna take another piece of wood. I got these, I'll send a link to these little wood pieces I got. They were really inexpensive. So this is,
But you use those as stamps later on?
yeah, you probably can. I wonder if I could dry this on my Silpat. I know an artist that creates her own stencils and stuff and texture mats with puff paint, puffy paint.
Doesn't that collapse after a while?
I don't know. It's just what she has stated that she does. And it's interesting because I'm curious how this will behave versus my DIY, because this is a slick surface versus more of a matte surface. So I'm gonna put that to dry and we'll see how that behaves when we paint on it. And then there's another product that I want to share with you for relief. Oh, there's actually a couple more I want to show you. So I have this stuff, it's called Relief Outliner. And it's by Pebeo. I don't know if I say that right, but it's transparent.
I use that. Yep.
You have it too?
Yes.
Very, very fine stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll do some.
You draw with it. Yes. And it stays like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't relax.
What's really nice about it is that this is a very fine line here. I'm just squeezing the container here. My hand's a little. So we'll see how this is. I'm going to draw a little circle in here. So Daniela, how are your results with this?
I use it exactly for that, to give relief to a. It wasn't a painting, it was a 3D or more like a sculpture. And I used. There is one that is it's sticky. It's like glue. Remains sticky after it dries. It dries in 3D relief, and then I applied foil on it instead of painting it with paint. I applied foil on the veins that I made with it.
Kind of like I did with my hot glue.
Yes, and then you can either paint it with acrylics, the forms that you made, or can apply pigment, just buff pigment on it, or put foil if you have foil.
Yeah, so we'll see how this dries and how it acts. It's all about how things act after they're dry, and that's how I feel about it. So this dimensional magic's kind of cool, and it's interesting how it's just a small amount, which makes me think I want to go grab my tar gel to show you, or string gel. Let me grab it. I have 4 containers of mediums, so I have to check all 4. Run. It's funny, I have all these tons of surfaces prepared here. I'm going to set this one aside. That's really, I love these little wood pieces. They're so cute. It came in, you get a 9-pack, 3 different sizes, a 4x4, 8x6. So really interesting. See all the little wood panels, different sizes. Like I said, it wasn't that much money either. So now there's 2 other products. This is more of an, to me, creating relief is like more, you know, planning. And I think these 2 products, this string gel is a little more haphazard planning. I'll show you. Hold on, I gotta whack this on the floor. Goodness, it won't open. Is it really almost 1 o'clock?
Oh, I have 12, yes.
Well, I can't believe it. I was in such an experimental mode here. Hold on, I gotta whack it again. See if I can get these open. So this is string gel, and this is tar gel, which are the same products. And I don't know, the string won't open, but this one will. They're just different names because they're different products. But tar gel is thick, resinous, fluid, acrylic medium. Fluid is the ideal here, that you can create relief in a very organic way, right? I could probably extrude it through something for a fine line, very similar to that Piabo, very thin, but let's get a raised area here that's thick, just by adding more and going slower. Now, if you only have gel medium too, you can also create wonderful texture with gel medium as well. I feel like relief, you know, to me, it's like intentional. You're adding this raised real texture. And there's so many experiments you can do. Just think about even just printing with bubble wrap, right? So many cool things you can do. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to set that aside. So those are some products that I use. Like I said, I've never used the spackle before, but I'm curious to see how it behaves with paint. I imagine it'll be pretty absorbent, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would recommend before you start painting to gesso it first.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
1 or 2 layers of gesso on everything, on all the shapes and relief that you did, and then let that dry, and then go to paint.
So I was going to put, before we go, I'm going to put a little layer of paint on this just so you can see. It's not completely dry though. It's almost dry. So I'm going to set this aside. So if you want to practice during the week creating some surfaces, I want to hear from you guys. Would you rather paint as a group then? Is that the paint as a group at the beginning of class on the foil, or all of them? Do you guys want to watch that process?
Well, are there any hints that you could give us? I mean, is there something we should, I'd like to try one just to see what it looks like, but.
Yeah, please do. So the hints are really that I like to use, so just think of something that's raised. If I go over it, I'm just going to show you, even though this isn't dry. Let me just grab a color. So if you use thick paint versus fluid paint, I'm going to show you a couple things. Let me get some thicker paints here. And I'm going to grab a few things. I'm grabbing a brush, a knife, a spreader, fluid paint and thick paint. And then it's going to grab also a sponge and some Q-tips. Get a sponge here. Okay, so just imagine, first I'm gonna use some thick paint. And this is Payne's Gray. I'm using the dark just so you guys can see, but this is pretty thick paint. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right on here. And it's thick, and how I apply it depends on how it's gonna look. So I want you to experiment. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around just so it's a better angle for me. And this is a rubber squeegee. And if I'm skimming the surface, it's just going to touch on the raised areas versus going in the holes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of drag this over, right? And it's just top level hitting. So it's kind of like scumbling in some ways, right? I'm going to go ahead and spread some of this over here. I really like how that looks. Mine's not dry, so a piece of it just moved, but I'm going to do that again over here. And then I'm going to show you a couple other things. So how it looks with a brush. So doing layers of this over is just really the secret, just in trying different ways, like maybe sometimes using a sponge and trying different tools. Maybe it's not the squeegee, maybe it's a credit card, right? So I really like how it's just top level hitting some of these things. And see, it's not even hitting my circle because my circle is indented. So it's kind of a mind game a little bit at first. Now I'm going to take some of this paint on here and I'm going to think about using a brush now. So I got this, just, I don't know, some kind of painting brush here, pretty big, thick. And I'm going to take this paint off of the squeegee. And now with a paintbrush, it's going to go in the cracks. Okay. So that might be something that you want in some areas, but maybe not all. You can see the difference. And if I use an agitated stance, it's going to go in all the cracks and kind of cover up the texture. I always love to use a spray bottle too. I recommend like playing around with, removal. How cool that looks, the removal. And what I would do with this is just layers and layers and layers of paint, different colors. So that looks really beautiful. I'm going to zoom in on that. But I also like this. I could see layers and layers of that. And I'm going to show you also, this is golden liquid, fluid acrylic. So that's going to be a completely different look. I'm going to put some over here. And I'm going to try to squeegee that. I'm going to flip this around here. It's experimental. All of this stuff is experimental. So the fluid is going into some of the cracks, but not all. It's a little more It's really pretty though. I like how the fluid looks. And once again, my little circle is, well, a little bit of fluid paint got in there. And then also, like, if you want to intentionally get into a spot, I love painting with Q-tips. And so I can take paint or a sponge. But let's say I want to take a little bit of this paint and I want to put a little bit in some of the cracks over here. You know, it's kind of like a brush, but you can be a little bit more intentional with it. So I'm going to take some of this and just kind of dab it in here.
So you're gonna keep some of the aluminum foil showing then?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I kind of like,
Good.
I might leave this little area. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So, you know, just scumbling over using different tools. I used a brush. So let me grab a sponge now. I need to get it wet. Sponge is going to kind of be like, it can be removable, but also you can put on a little bit lighter. So it just depends. This is very diffused looking. You know, I'm actually removing now and putting it elsewhere. So that's also very interesting. I think the key here is just try different things. I really like the squeegee a lot. It's really, and you know, if you got paint on something, the relief areas are really easy because they stick up just to remove paint from it. Like maybe I want that whole line to remain silver.
Yeah, try a baby wipe and remove.
Yeah, baby wipes, or I also use rubbing alcohol. I could saturate this in rubbing alcohol too. It's still wet, which is nice. So just going along there and removing a little bit and creating, you know, you can create shapes and lines, and it's just really endless. I would stick to some kind of color scheme that isn't going to create a mud, you know. This is Payne's gray and yellow. You can't go wrong because if they mix, they're gonna make a green. Really.
How long does this take to dry since it's not absorbent?
Yeah, you know what? I thought it would dry a little bit quicker than it did. So I would give it a couple hours, or maybe put it out in the sun if you have some sunshine there today. It's not drying as quick as I thought, actually. So mine's almost dry, but parts of it are moving around. So why don't we say that you guys experiment on your foils for homework and keep track of your process, or maybe layers that you did and things that you did, because we're all going to learn from each other. I really dig in painting with these Q-tips. Maybe you're going to use a different tool than I did, but maybe you put really thick paint down and take your trowel through. This is all about texture, so you want it to be textural. Okay, that's why we did this crazy stuff, right? All right. For those of you that have the time and want to stay for a few other minutes, I can talk about materials. And also, has everybody gotten into the Google Classroom and know how to do that? And if you have questions, I can show you that as well.
Are we going to be posting things like we used to?
Yeah, just like you used to.
I may need a refresher on that. It's been a while.
All right, I'm going to share my screen then for a minute, and then this will help me go to supplies as well. So
I've never used Google Classroom, so I know everything.
okay, so I'm going to go to a Google home screen and share my screen. Okay. So everybody pretty much probably has Google search engine, right? I think
Right.
most people have joined the Google brainwashing. I know I have. So when you're on a Google home screen, here's my Gmail, right? And then here is the 9 squares, which are Google Apps.
Okay.
When you click on the Google Apps, you will see Classroom. Now, for most of you, it's probably way down here, but you can take any app, click and hold it down and move it. So I move mine to the top so it's easily accessible, and I click on it. I've also bookmarked mine so it's here on my browser anyway. You'll see these are all the classes I'm teaching right now, but our class, and you won't see anything until you join the classroom. So I put a link in the email to how to join. You can also join this way by the plus sign, join a class, and you'll have to put in the class code, and that's another way to join other than clicking on the link I sent you. But here is our class is right here, mixed media. This is what it looks like. So here's the people in the class. Linda's in here, Rosa, Daniela, Judy are in right now. Okay, so once you join the class, this is like our private Facebook group. Think of it like that, where we can post and write anything we want. So I'll do an example of posting. If you want to join the classroom this way, this is the code to the classroom. Or you can click on the link that I sent, XJWQYWZ. And if you want to say upload your homework, I click in here, and then I get this, all of a sudden there's all these things at my fingertips. So I'll say my painting. And then notice that if I don't type anything, this post goes away. Do you see how this post is grayed out and can't post? The minute I type something, now I can post it. So I can type something and post, or I can, this little arrow is uploading a file. So I can click on upload a file, and let me browse my computer, and here's a logo.
I posted something in the classroom. Maybe we can see if it's there.
Yeah, so I'm just opening this logo here that I did for the spa. And now once it's uploaded, I can hit post. And then, and people can comment. Daniela just added, hello all. And I can say hi to her, hi. So we can look at each other's work. We can comment on each other's work, help each other. So if you want to view this full screen, you just click on it and it will view full screen. So that's any questions on the classroom, and that's how you get to it easily, and you can post things in there. If you have trouble posting, just send it to me. I'm happy to post for you. Let's look at, let me stop sharing. I'm going to get the supplies up and talk and see if anyone has questions. Any questions on the classroom?
No, it makes sense. I need to try it.
Yeah, it's super easy once you get the hang of it. Like I said, I bookmark mine, so I just click on it and it's just there.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over supply list for mixed media. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. So the acrylic paints, gel medium, Mod Podge, dimensional magic, which I just showed you. That's these, you know, anything you don't want to buy is optional. You can always just watch. Joint compound, which is what mine never came, so I'll have to go to the hardware store. The notch spreader is what I showed you. Liquitex spray paint, well, I'll show you that. Embroidery thread needle. Impasto medium makes paint thick, but you can also use gel medium. I'm experimenting with impasto medium just because it's new. And of course, if something's new, I've got to try it and see if it's different. But supposedly, impasto medium helps keep the color intact versus using a gel medium can dilute the color a little bit. So that interested me. So that's why I bought it. I haven't tried it yet. Ebru water marbling paint. So Deco Art has a kit with 3 or 4 colors at Michael's. That's where I saw it. I think it's like $10. It might be a little bit more. I think you can make any paint able to float as long as you have marbling medium. So if you don't want to buy a kit, you could get the marbling medium, the Deco Art makes. Alum is the stuff that will mix with water to help the paper absorb the marbling, because it sits on top of water. And so it's got to be like a suction, and this alum, you can get it even at like a Walgreens has alum. And it's like it's in the vitamin aisle. But I just ordered it on Amazon, a very small amount, because you don't need a lot. Liquitex pouring medium. People always ask me, can I use Floetrol, which is Home Depot's version? If you Floetrol, you can use, it's matte instead of shiny, and I really like the shiny medium. So the pouring medium, Liquitex, it's just, I've used them all and I love the Liquitex. It doesn't craze. Something that happens when you pour is cracks, and all the other brands craze. And if you don't want crazing to happen, you have to buy this other medium called GAC 900, which is expensive. And so why not just spend the money on the Liquitex? So.
Colleen,
Yeah.
I ordered the joint compound. I didn't realize that that's what because it just said gypsum on the bag. It's just a bag full of powder.
Oh, cool.
So what do I don't have any instructions. I guess I have to go online.
I would just add water until it's the right consistency.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's kind of the same consistency as this powder, the one that we just did.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you want it really thick, add very little water and put it on like my spackle.
Okay.
If you want it thin and you want to extrude it through a squeeze bottle, then add more water. Yeah.
Can you get that locally? Because I had to pay for shipping, and I think the bag was $5 something and the shipping was $5 something.
Oh my gosh. No, I think you can get it at the hardware store.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll try
Aces-
that. I wasn't sure what I was buying.
Aces carries it and Home Depot carries it in the 1.75 pint container already mixed with water.
Oh, good. Thank you.
The trowels that I showed you are squeegee, because I know we want to scumble over these surfaces. And then the we're going to be making fabric paper. So in one of our classes, so just having little scraps of fabric is really fun, and having at least try one being transparent, maybe it's lace or it has little holes in it, or it's tool, just for difference. It's all, you know, if they're all opaque, that's not a problem, but just like, I always like to try different things. So these fabric papers that we're going to make can be collaged, and they're so gorgeous. So be really any questions on any of the techniques that we're going to be doing, or we're going to have a lot of fun experimenting.
Yeah.
Right?
Great.
Do we need the alum if we have the kit, the Ebru kit? Or I mean, these are the separate things.
Yeah, it's recommended. Is there alum in the kit? I haven't opened mine yet.
Oh, I have no
there
idea.
wasn't.
I don't have it.
All right, I have alum. I can send you some alum in a little envelope. Who needs, if you need alum, send me an email and I'll send you some.
So this is my question. Why do we need alum for?
Alum,
What is it good for?
it helps. So you spray it on the paper and it helps because this is water marbling. So you can't put a lot of pressure on water, right? You're gonna basically like touch your paper, and the alum is like creates like a major attachment. It's the only way I can.
So you put it in the water or on the paper?
You put it in a mixture and you wet your paper with it. I brush it on or spray it on depending on what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So if you need alum, don't buy any because I got a big thing. Just send me an email.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you send it through the mail?
Yeah.
White powder or something?
White powder? Oh yeah, I'll get in trouble.
Oh,
We'll get in trouble.
Yes. That was the first thing I thought of is, gosh, I wonder how it'll go through the mail.
Oh my
We'll
god.
be in the news.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm really liking how some of this is looking already. It's looking really cool. So
Great.
very unique. Well, any questions before I sign off? Have a great week and great experimenting. Okay.
Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Colleen.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Pauline.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you
Bye,
next
all.
week.